From a very humble beginning in 1946, Nigerian Breweries PLC has grown in stature in brewing, marketing and sales of lager, stout and non-alcoholic malt drinks. Nigerian Breweries PLC is redefining corporate culture in Nigeria by building a world-class institution. This informs an environmental policy which complies with global standards and ultimately relevant to states, federal laws and regulations. The company's responsibilities to the environment resulted in huge investment in water treatment plants in Ibadan and Ama breweries.
In our investment in wastewater treatment plant, we consider that this environment is where we belong, and that we remain a viable company depends on the viability of the environment that is Nigeria.
However, at the Ama brewery, the source of water for brew purposes is underground. Therefore, 5 boreholes in all have been built. There are 2 sources of wastewater in the brewery: the brew house and packaging. The activities in the brew house produce extra sugar, water, caustic soda and acid, mainly liquid waste. Packaging produces both liquid and solid effluents, crown corks, labels and broken bottles. There are 2 water channels in Nigerian breweries factories. Stormwater drains are for natural rainwater, which does not require treatment. Processed water drains carry wastewater from brewery activities, and these require treatment.
Everything you do as a company, indeed as an individual, has a corporate social responsibility aspect of it. Now we have invested in wastewater treatment plant. We have byproducts there that can be found useful. And it is our responsibility also as a socially responsible company to ensure that these byproducts are used in such a way that it adds to humanity.
At Ibadan, the effluent is released into the ecosystem through this drain. From here, it flows into the streams in the plant's immediate environment. With installed capacity of 12 brews daily, the factory will produce 117.5 tons of spent grain a day and 3 million hectoliters annually. This is quite sizable for the environment. The spent grain burner at Ama breweries provides solution for the huge factory spent grain challenge. Here, the spent grain is compressed to squeeze out water. The spent grain is discharged frame by frame. The hopper has a screw conveyor that pushes the spent grain. It is then pushed through this pipe to the intermediate silo, which serves as a temporary gap before they are sent finally to the burner. Valves control the amount of spent grain that comes out from the pre-silo. Then the spent grain is pumped to the feed box. Low and high level sensors regulate the flow of spent grain in the feed box. From here, it enters the belt press. The spent grain passes through low rollers. These rollers remove certain amount of water from the spent grain. From the belt press, the spent grain passes through this conveyor. The spent grain is sent to the dry spent grain tank through this dry spent grain chain conveyor. Through a screw conveyor, dry spent grain is conveyed to the burner. At the burner, a spark. Fuel and oxygen must mix together for combustion to take place. The byproduct of the spent grain is stored here. Nigerian Breweries PLC policy on environment is well and alive. A large percentage of their power needs are generated through their recycled waste. Biogas, a byproduct of the wastewater treatment plant, is used to fire the boilers.
Somebody who is not as informed as should be In terms of social responsibility, we think that we are dumping money. But the truth is that the best way to survive in any environment is to make sure that that environment survives. So in doing what we are doing, we are actually planning for the long-term survival of Nigerian breweries.